Good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in to Infinite Y. My name is Cartier. Today I'm joined by Ruth, the author, entrepreneur, investor. Can you tell us some more about that,
So, hey
please?
everyone, my name is Ruth. I am all those things and a couple more. But I just released my first ebook called The Power of the Room Networking 101. And it's pretty much a guide on how to tell people, how to find the right rooms in your city, how to network for your career advancement, for your professional career, for entrepreneurship, what to say when you walk into those rooms. Because it's one thing to find it, but it's like, okay, what are you saying when you get there?
Right.
And then making sure that you do follow up with those connections because that is how you actually build your network. So every event, every room you walk into has to have some type of purpose, intentionality, and my book is pretty much teaching you how to do that step by step.
Okay. I think like for someone like me who's a business owner, entrepreneur, right? I'm not really looking for another job or I'm not trying to grow in the
Yeah.
corporate America. Is I find it really hard to network with other business owners who sometimes have a full plate or sometimes I can't add too much value to what they have going on, so how do you tackle that,
I would say, correction, you do have value to
Okay,
add.
okay.
As long as you are doing something, you always have value to add to someone. So I would say when it comes to that, you just have to position yourself properly. Networking is not just a task or a skill that you do for your professional advancement. That is what it's in. That's what it's mainly used for, but it's not only used for that. Because when you are looking at other millionaires or billionaires, or when you're looking at corporate professionals, they hang around other people that are doing the same thing as them. And I feel
Right.
like a lot of people in entrepreneurship, they like to take the lonely road. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
I'm going to do this by myself. I'm the team, I'm the executive, I'm the manager. And it's like, no, that's not how that works. So when you
That's it.
network properly, you're able to find people to put on your team. You're able to collaborate with people when it comes to doing different projects, having different initiatives. So I would say when you are networking, it's just finding the right room that speaks to you. So that way you can be able to find the people that are for you as well.
Okay. I actually found you through our videographer, Lewinsky, right?
Yes.
He was telling me like, hey, like this young woman, she's doing great things. Like you were taking a video of one of your properties.
Yes.
I'm not sure exactly if you guys are done renovating over there,
Oh no, that's
but
a long project.
right. So
That is probably, we're on maybe phase two, I would
phase
say.
two,
Yes, we're on
right,
phase two. It's 4 phases. So I project it to be done maybe next year, March.
right.
Hopefully, with permitting and all of that, we'd never know.
Oh yeah, that's what we're like. I did notice from the video that he showed me that you were on the phone with someone who was coaching you,
Yes.
right? So can you talk a little bit about that too?
Yes.
Maybe coaches versus uh, mentors. Like is it the same thing? Is it different? Can you expand on that a little bit?
I feel like they have their similarities. They can be cross functional when it comes to the term. I mean, they almost are the same thing, but when a coach, I would say a coach is someone that gives you the tools and you have to apply it.
Right.
A mentor, more like they kind of walk you through it and show you a little bit more grace when it comes to execution. Slightly, not too much, but I would say a mentor is more of someone that you meet and they see something in you and they're like, I want to mentor you to take you to the next level. Coaching is more of like, okay, you say you want to do this, so this is what you have to do. Like we have accountability calls, we had sales calls, we had one-on-one sessions with our
Really?
coaches. Like it was way more intense because I've done coaching programs and mentorship, and I could say they are two different things in
Okay.
that sense. But the person can be doing the same role when it comes to coaching and mentorship. It just depends on what it is that they're teaching you. So my coach, his goal is to help you fund your space in
Right.
less than 90 days.
And you did that.
Mine was a little bit longer because I'm very specific on what I want.
I see.
I had a couple deals, I had a couple, offers put out, but they always just fell through. And I just felt like, that just wasn't the space for me.
you.
And I'm a type of person, I'm not going to force anything. I let
see.
things flow. So when we did find a space, when me and my family found this space, it was exactly what I was looking for because we're a type of person, we go big or we go home. So
Nice.
the
I
space
saw.
is huge. And, I was trying to be, modest about it and humble. I'm like, you know what, let me start smaller. Let me give me a 2,000 square feet. No, I know what I wanted.
It's the Haitian.
Yeah.
in you.
I know I wanted something, very grand. I wanted something that I can be able to serve the community when it comes to hosting family gatherings or events. And because, South Florida is very known for hosting grand events. So
Yes, yes.
I wanted to be one of those ballrooms, one of those event spaces that was on that list. So the space that we have fit the criteria. It's definitely a beautiful project. It's going to take a while because it is a commercial building. So we have a lot of permitting, a lot of contracting
Yeah.
to hire out. Right now they're doing the roof. So, and that's a
Oof,
project.
yeah.
Yeah. So anybody listen, you're doing a roof for a house that already takes a long time.
Yeah.
So imagine a whole entire building.
And that
So
building is humongous.
yes,
Yeah.
it is. So I'm definitely excited for that. Huge project, probably one of the biggest that me and my family have done all together.
Yeah.
But I would say when it comes to coaching and mentoring, you just have to find the person that fits your style. And I do not suggest anybody doing any business without having a mentor or a coach.
Really?
No,
No, none.
none. I do not suggest
Oh,
it. I don't
wow.
like in every facet. I
Wow.
always tell people if you really truly care, let me not say care. If you truly
Wanna do
want to
well.
succeed or want to do well in whatever you're doing, whether that's in your business,
Right.
whether that's in your career, if you don't have somebody doing what you want to do at a very high level, you're going to be fighting tooth and nail to get where you need to get. Or you're just going to be in this grinding and hustle culture for a very long time. So burnout will come to you. So when you have a mentor, I'm not saying it skips it all, but you kind of learn a lot of things a lot faster.
So, I mean, we have friends that are professionals, right? And it's a lot easier for them to find mentors, maybe like accountants or whatever
Yeah.
field that they're in. Those mentors aren't asking for much. They'll teach you, they'll show you things
Yeah.
without expecting much in return. But what I found for me is that when I go out and I look for a mentor, if it can get really scammy, right? It can get
Yes.
it's like it's hard to vet the person that you want to mentor you because they first of all on the business side they want money,
Yeah.
right? They're not gonna sit there and because they're business owners, they're business people, so
Yeah.
they're not doing anything for free.
Obviously not.
Right. So I mean, more like a coach, right?
Yes.
So trying to find a coach where it's like, okay, you say that you're doing this, right? You say that this is how you make a living, but you're making most of your money from selling courses, or you're making most of your money from training people. Like how do you vet your coaches to ensure that you're gonna have like a smooth
Process or-
process through the course or through the program that they're offering? How like
Okay. Yeah, no, that's a very valid question. I would say I've been burned a couple times. So it does happen. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say like, oh, everyone is a great coach and everyone is a great mentor. No, there are some people that
Yeah.
will sit there and take your money and you won't get any results. It has happened to me and my friends a couple times that we do not want to mention. Okay. They did not happen or exist at that point.
Right.
But I would say when it comes to that, the pattern that I did not notice was when it comes to vetting, like by definition, vetting means you are thoroughly searching through it. So when police or I'm getting somewhere. Listen, when someone is trying to vet you, they go
Right.
through background check, criminal check. They go through, if they need a urine sample, they're going to do that. Like
Yes.
they will dig for the
Dig.
information they
Right,
need to
right.
ensure that you are a qualified candidate.
Right.
So I feel like when it comes to us as entrepreneurs, we're not doing the vetting process properly. We're
Right.
just looking at, okay, they look successful or
Right.
they're portraying that they're successful, but did you ask for receipts? Did you, because I'm bold. I will ask you, oh, okay, what you have this space? Okay, I could look it up, public record.
Right.
Like, oh, you say you own this house? Oh, let me
Okay.
see if you do own it. Like,
Okay.
I'm going to properly do my search to see if you say that you own X, Y, and Z or that you are doing X, Y, and Z. If I can't find that and it's more like a service, then if I see someone join your coaching program, I'm going to DM them and be like, hey, I seen that you was in their coaching program. How was it?
Independently, like you're
Yeah.
not gonna ask the coach
No.
for a reference. You're gonna ask them yourself.
On my own.
Wow.
I'm doing my own research.
Okay.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
I will sit there and stalk your Instagram page to make sure that you're consistent with your messaging. And the minute I see an inconsistency, that's how I know you're lying.
So okay.
Yeah.
So you're looking for them to you're vetting.
I'm vetting.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm vetting. I feel like you watch them as if you're looking to date them.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's
Doing
either
your
they will do great
I
and
see.
be a great addition to your life,
Right,
or
right.
you're gonna wish you never met them.
This is
So
like before marriage.
yes,
I
like
see.
before I put a ring on it, let me see if you
Let me
actually
see
worth it.
if you are who you
You
say
say
you
you are. So that's, I feel like when people say vet, no, seriously, vet. Go through the person's Instagram, their socials. If they have other reviews, go out and reach to those people. You have to be bold. You're not about to sit here and drop 5 figures, 6 figures on coaching programs, and they're not delivering on what they're saying. So you have the right to do that. They can't stop you from doing that.
So I mean, for you and for me too, right? I've had plenty of companies. I started a lot of businesses, a lot of
Yeah,
different
same.
businesses, right?
Listen.
And most of the time, I'm gonna say 90% of the time, there isn't like a streamlined way of doing things, right? Like I started a party rental company, a moving company, and every single time is I've always had to figure everything out on my own, right? Or I could have
You
gotten,
got a mentor, but that's
I could have done that.
okay.
Now we know this is why we're here today,
Yes.
right? But that's why for me, I think that sometimes the bad apples can kind of muddy the pool, right? Because if I wasn't able to find a mentor, but if I was able to find maybe like a course or something where someone was giving me the information that I needed at the time,
Yeah.
right? Like something as little as insurance. I remember I found like uh uh an insurance company that would insure my party rental business, and it literally cost me under $100 a month. It was called Next Insurance. This is a little gimme,
Okay, I think I know
right?
of
Right?
next. Yeah.
I think it's like a government insurance. I'm not sure, but because I had insurance, I was able to go to the parks in Miami-Dade and the parks in Broward County, and
Yeah.
I was able to add my company to that directory,
Yeah.
and be just that one little less than $100 a month made me so much money because I was at the park. So when families needed a party rental company and they would call people on Facebook or they would call other people, they would say we can't go to the parks because we need permits for that or we need
Yeah, we
insurance
need
for that.
insurance,
And
yes.
just because of that, under $100, and I'm talking about bigger. Some companies had like 15, 20, 30 bouncers, thousands of chairs and tables, and they weren't getting into the parks just because they didn't know
Have
this little
insurance.
tidbit,
Yeah.
right? Just so small, right? And that's something that I think is in almost every single business where it's like this little separator is the difference between your business failing and your business succeeding,
Yeah.
right? So I think that's why it's good to have, because we are going to be working on like a jump start for the people who are
Yes.
watching this podcast, right? I really want to, we have your book, if they want
Yeah.
to dive in, but the taking the first step but taking the correct first step is so important.
Yeah, and I feel like that's very key when it comes to owning a business, and keyword owning. I think a lot of people get stuck in operating a business. If you continue to operate your business, you will never shift from operator to owner. And I feel like those are
see.
not the same thing. So that example of a company having multiple bounce houses, over 1,000 chairs, you're more focused on operating and folding the chair and giving the service instead of owning the business and actually doing the legalities that come with it.
Right, the
So
background
the back,
administrative work. I
yes. So
see.
that's
I
the
see.
difference between operating one and owning one. At that point, you'll just forever be an employee
An employee of yourself.
of
I mean, you
yourself.
have a little
Yeah.
bit more privileges, but you're still tied down. You can't wake up and go to Orlando tomorrow
Yeah.
because you got to go and
You didn't do the proper back end systems. You
right.
didn't do the proper back office. Like, I don't know if, a lot of people don't know how like restaurants or just the hospitality industry works, but they have different departments called front of house, back of house.
Okay.
And those, two different things is like, your front of house is your servers, your hostess, the people that you see on the front end.
Right.
They're the ones that look like they're doing the most work, but it's really the back of house that's
right.
really doing it. And that's your chef, that's your food runners, that's all the people that's in the back that's providing the service for the front of house is really what makes hospitality such a streamlined process. But if people don't run their business like that, then you will never get to that place of being able to separate your back office and your front office.
Yeah, I've definitely dealt with that, and even sometimes even a little bit of guilt, right? Like where I've had, guys going out on jobs and I'm in the back, well, at home or at the office doing the administrative work.
Yeah.
And they don't get to see that, right? So, I mean, even right now, we have, a team out doing a move down in Wynwood, and they don't get to see the back end work that I'm putting in to make sure that everyone's getting their hours
Yeah.
and to make sure that we're growing so that I can increase pay. They don't really get that side. It's just, well, we're doing the work, and for most people it stops at that. But like a business owner, when you actually want to grow and be a good business owner, you have to step away. It's paramount.
Yeah, no,
that
you have to.
even if you're making less money, I'm completely okay with making a lot less money as long as I have the freedom and I have the ability to do what I need to do,
Yeah.
so that I can grow.
Yeah, people are just scared of delegation. I think
Yeah.
that's just all it is. It's like, oh no, this is my baby. I can't.
Right.
No one can touch my business. No one can do it better than me. Like,
I was a
no.
perfectionist. When I first started, like, I was a perfectionist. I wanted no one.
oh yeah, you couldn't tell me nothing. What? Do you not see my hair? Like, come on now. Like every curl is in place, sweetie. Like you cannot tell me I'm not a perfectionist. I'm a perfectionist at heart.
Right.
But I had to understand that with certain things, you need to learn to let it go. You
Exactly.
cannot be operator, executor. You can't be all the manager.
can't wear all the hats.
You can't be all
You
of that.
can't do
Okay,
that.
you're
You
not an
can't.
octopus. One. Okay, so like that. This just doesn't work. It just
Right,
doesn't.
right.
So I feel like when people learn to let go, that's when your business actually flows.
Goes, okay.
So it's just learning to let go what you can't control. If you continue to put your hands in every little pocket,
Right.
your business is going to be stifled right
Even what
there.
you can control, like if somebody else can do it, like
Yeah.
even
Pay it
80%
out.
as well as you can do it,
Yeah.
it's time to let them get better than you at
Yes.
this, right? But in the midst of all of this, right, you went to pageant and
Yes.
you did really, really well, right?
Thank you.
First place, first runner up,
Yes.
right? Like, and it was your first pageant.
And my first
In
pageant.
the midst of all of this,
I know, it's literally insane, y'all. When I tell you my life doesn't make any sense, it's just crazy.
like I know people are scared to see what you're gonna do in 20 years. Like I don't
yeah.
even want to know.
I mean, even I'm scared, but hey, we still gonna do it though. I have no idea where I'm going, but I know it's to the sky at that point.
Any other business ventures that you have your eyes on, or?
I would say after the pageant, I did run for Miss Woman Entrepreneur International, which focuses on empowering women when it comes to their careers or business and giving them the spotlight, unlike other beauty pageants that just focus on solely beauty. So when I did the pageant, it did open my eyes to like mental health advocacy and suicide prevention, because yes, I am all these things, content creator, investor, entrepreneur. But when you are not in your right state of mind when it comes to mental wellness, I realized you won't be able to operate at your best self. So during that time, it did open my eyes to be able to support more initiatives that's in that. And I am launching a nonprofit in the soon come future.
Okay,
I can't really say too much details because
Okay.
nonprofits is a lot more legalities when it comes
Right.
to structure,
Understood.
and making sure that I'm properly doing it how IRS wants me to do it,
Yeah.
so I am not fined. Hello. Okay, because we are not going to jail, nobody. Hello. I'm too pretty for that. No.
Right? No. Right.
But so I am working on a nonprofit organization that will be focusing on mental health. So that is one thing that I am pretty excited for. It is very different because most of the business I do is for profit. So this will be my first, jump into the nonprofit space. But I do feel like there is a need for that, especially in the entrepreneurship community, in the Black community, in the Caribbean community. That's very much a taboo that's talked about. That's not talked about when it comes to mental health. They look at it as you're just, crazy, or there's nothing wrong with me. What do I need to talk to a therapist for? Or what do I need to get help for? When it's just like, no, that's to advance you.
Right.
So that is something I'm working on after the pageant. That did spark an idea for me to have a nonprofit organization around that. So
I think you're gonna do great with that. I think
Thank
you're gonna
you.
do great. Yeah, I think when something is intangible or it's not, visible, it's so easy to dismiss it.
yeah, you don't see the importance of it. You're
Yeah.
just like, oh, I mean,
Hey, come on now, your leg is fine. Like, go to work.
yes.
So-
Until something happens to you,
Exactly.
like-
Even then, sometimes I see that it's kind of like it's still brushed under the rug.
Yeah.
Like especially in like our community as Haitians. You know, like
Yeah.
it's so easy to. I remember I went to the flea market one time. This is years ago. I think I was like 12 years old. I went to the flea market and I saw a little boy having seizures.
Oh my
Even at 12,
gosh.
I'm like, oh, that boy having a seizure. And his mom grabbed him and she was like, "Oh, the devil is back." I'm like, "No, he's having a
No.
seizure. Like,
Yeah.
this is a problem that you need to bring him to the hospital for." You know, so we do make we don't like we don't make it a priority to educate ourselves on mental
Yeah.
health or certain problems that aren't visible or tangible.
Yes,
So
I
it's
feel like a
definitely
lot of people, brush it under the rug.
yeah,
Like that is very common, for people especially when it comes to just mental health or just anything around that, vicinity when it comes to just depression or anxiety or people think it's just like, oh, you're just in that moment, this is how you feel, but you never know that you actually are struggling with that. And
right.
it's like an ongoing thing.
Ongoing
There's a
issue.
difference between being like anxious because you're about to do something and you
Right.
actually live with anxiety. And you're just
Yeah.
like, oh no, I'm fine. That's just how I am. And it's like there's solutions
Yeah, it's
to
literally fight
fix
and
it.
flight
Yeah.
constantly
There's
happening in your mind.
solutions.
Every single interaction that you're having, it's a big thing.
Yeah, it is.
But you did really really well in high school.
Yeah.
Was that your first business? Your hair business?
Yeah, so I used to sell hair. Shout out to Ambitious Couture and RP
Right.
to her as well. That was my first child, is what I like to say.
Right.
I launched my first business at 15, literally just out of the spark of people asking me, "Oh, I like your hair. Where did you get it from?" And I just kept getting it over and over, and I'm like, "Hold on, I'm giving y'all
It's
the
something
plug
here.
for free." It's to the point I'm giving them the link to buy the
Oh.
same hair in my head. I was like, hold on, no, actually, let's take it back.
I can sell it to
Yeah,
you.
I can sell it to you. This is how much it is. And I'm not gonna lie, that's exactly how it started. I did it to my cousin and it worked. And I was like, okay, so this actually works. So we're gonna keep doing
They
this.
will pay for this.
So I had the idea at 15. I launched at 16. Did really really well. My first year, I believe I made like $10,000. And that
At
was like in the
15.
middle of the year. That was even like from January to
Oh, so
December.
in like a 6 month span, not
Yeah,
even barely.
I would just say in my first year, like whatever that I think I
Calendar
started
year,
in,
yeah.
that calendar year. I think I started maybe March
Right.
2016. And I think by the time it was December, I saw I made 10K. I was like, okay. And listen, I was 16 years old. 10K was a lot of money at that. Listen, I was
Talk about like what year is that?
Yeah.
Like, we talking.
Yeah, no, yeah, that was a
high
couple years-
school.
yeah, that was a couple
before
years-
pre-COVID.
pre-COVID. Okay, so the prices were good. Okay,
Yeah.
when Ducks was $65.
You could
Come
get a
on,
good
people.
used car for that.
So I honestly did not use that money properly. I mean, I was 16 years
It's
old.
okay,
Now. So
right.
all of that money went to Jay's, went to shopping.
Ah,
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, we're gonna try to get it together the next year. Unfortunately, it was senior year, so I still used all my money again, but I made more money. I believe I made around, if it wasn't 17,000 or maybe 20, I think I made almost double.
Wow.
The next year, and then I just kept going. I was just like, okay, I love what I do, and my business was all about empowering women through my beauty products. I didn't see it as something like you need this hair to feel beautiful. It was more of enhancing the natural beauty you already
Right,
have.
right,
So
right.
that was, the mission that I have behind my hair business. And it did really well. A lot of people, supported me not only just because of the quality of the hair, but because of me as well. Because they see, how I carried myself and the values that I had as a young adult, just trying to make it out here. So
Right.
unfortunately, COVID happened, and that destructive monster
course,
just had
yeah.
to destroy
Did his
everything.
thing, yeah.
But I can honestly say that was probably one of the best things that did happen to me at that time,
Right.
because I was too headstrong with my business. It became my identity to the point where you couldn't detach Ruth and my business. It was just
One thing.
and I am very spiritual as
Right.
well. And God revealed to me that I was making this as an idol. Like, yes, that was my God-given assignment and purpose, but
Right.
this is not who you are in everything. Like, you can't just walk around like, yeah, I have a business,
Right.
to everywhere you go, as if you don't have any other value to bring to people. So I feel like when COVID happened, it did struck
It
me.
woke you
I
up.
did struggle, when it came to starting it back, and I was really struggling to start it back. And I was just like, all right, God, you gave me this business idea. Why is it not working to just launch it again.
Right.
But he was just like, no, your time is up. You didn't steward it right. And that's one thing about God. If you don't steward something well, he will take
Take
it.
it away from you.
He will bless you, but he can easily
Right,
take it away as
right,
well. So
right.
don't get it that twisted. So I could say in that season, I just did a rediscovery of myself and just
Right.
try to figure out who is Ruth outside of business.
Right.
And I did enjoy that journey because I really was able to identify who I am outside of me just being an entrepreneur. And I feel like that's very important because a lot of people run with their titles
Right.
and use that as their leg up for everything. And it's just like some people want to buy into you, not your title.
Right.
So if you don't know how to separate the two, then you become this robotic person that just, oh yeah, she's that entrepreneur or she's that lawyer.
That's
You don't ever want to just be referred by your title. You're more than that. You have a name. Like
I see.
people should know you
Yeah,
by your
I
name,
see.
not by just your
I see.
profession.
Yes.
So
Let's go back to networking,
Mm-hmm.
right? Maybe you can give us like some more in-depth tips and tricks and things that helped you out. Like we know about vetting,
yeah.
right? I know for me, like I'll get on Eventbrite, see what they got for the week, see what they got for the month, and then I'll probably attend one or two. Nothing really fruitful comes from those events. Maybe I'll meet one or two people, but I don't get much from just casually networking or going to Eventbrite events.
Yeah.
So like, can you give us some of the ways? Because every single event that you've been to that I've seen so far, I'm like, where is this? Like, what
And
is
you're not
going
the
on?
only person. Like
Right.
everyone always asks me as if I'm like, okay, guys, I'm like not understanding how you're not finding it, but I honestly I'm very intentional. Like I do a
Okay.
lot of things with intentionality. I use Eventbrite as well, but I did drop a gem in my ebook. I mentioned Eventbrite is not your only go-to. I tell people that you need to be able to surround yourself with like-minded individuals and people doing what you aspire to do. And surround doesn't mean you need to physically do that. Sometimes you need to create it. So the way I create it is just by following people on Instagram that are business coaches, that are mentors, that are in event spaces, that are doing real estate investing in my
see.
market or in different markets.
Right.
So my Instagram is very much curated to how I want it. So when these people are hosting events or they get invited to speak on a panel because of their tenure or because of their experience, that's how I'm able to really find it. And because I've been watching them for a while or they're on my feed, I can see the consistency of their projects or what they're doing. So I was like, oh, of course, if you're having an event, I would love to go support that person. And I don't know who else I will meet in that room.
I
So
see.
that's how I'm able to find very valuable rooms, I would say. It's just by following the people that are in the industries that I like. So I think for me, social media is one of the most powerful ways to find events. And that's how you can actually do your vetting as well. So
Okay.
I would say, start on socials. It's not a problem to follow family and friends, but I mean, family and friends are not going to take you where you want
Of
unless they
course.
are where you want to be. But if
Right,
they're
right.
not, then you need to create that
I see.
environment that you want. So if your whole Instagram is just people you went to high school with, then you're not going to see nothing on your page.
Of course, it doesn't do a progression. Not
yeah,
too
not
much,
to say I
yeah.
can't, congratulate
course,
you
of
and,
course.
happy birthday. That's great, but I need to get to the bag. So I'm going to follow people I want to
course,
see.
yeah,
Like when
yeah.
I see your stuff, I see it, but
Right.
that's not what I use Instagram for. So it can be a negative tool, but I use it as a positive.
Because it's a tool.
Yeah, it's a tool.
So it's definitely I've made a lot of money using Instagram,
Yeah.
and I've met a lot of good people using Instagram. It's how you use it.
Yeah, it's how you use it, honestly. I mean, that's like a hammer. A hammer is there to nail something to a wall, but if you put it to a glass, it's going to break. So you're using the tool wrong. So I just feel like when it comes to social media, people weaponize it too much.
Okay.
And I'm just like, no, use it for your
How?
advantage.
Okay.
That's the best way to be able to create that environment and be able to find quality people that are doing what you want to do. And that's in every industry. When I tell you it works for everything, I've done it for content creation, I've done it for real estate, and I do it for entrepreneurship. Those are like my 3 buckets. And I follow a lot of people in those areas, and they're usually hosting events because these are people that's been doing it before social media was even a thing. They just now have a platform to advertise that they're doing it.
Right.
So That's the best way to be able to find those events.
Like being a younger business owner, or like just for young entrepreneurs, right, who are, like you said, if you're around 10 millionaires, you're probably going to be the 11th millionaire,
Yeah.
or just putting yourself in the best situation possible, right? Like, how feasible is it for, let's say, like a 21-year-old kid in North Miami who's power washing right now, who has a power washing business, right? And let's say that he wants to grow. Um, how realistic is it for that young man to go and find a mentor in it, like just as he is, right? Like, how realistic is that? Because that's a challenge that I face. Like for me, like I said, I looked for mentors. It took me a while to
Yeah.
find people who would teach me, and still those people weren't in the fields that I was in. So how do they do it, right? That
Yeah.
young guy, young girl who has nothing to do with this industry, whether it's real estate or business or whatever category they're in, how does that person go and find the millionaires and the successful people in their industry and properly network with them? Because you did say that you always have value, right? So how do you communicate that to the person that you want to mentor you?
Yeah. So I would say when it comes to looking for mentorship or just wanting to grow in general, you have to be able to know your goals. I think a lot of people get stuck at just doing a thing and not knowing why they're doing that specific thing. So for that example you gave of a young gentleman, power washing in North Miami. So if your contracts currently are probably residential properties, like, doing driveways or doing roofs and things of that sort, you have to ask yourself, okay, where do I see myself in 5 years? Like, am I still going to be doing these same things and just have multiple properties, or am I going to hire out a team? Do I want to go into commercial? Do I want to make it more global or more nationwide? Like, I think it's more of just like that strategizing and planning portion. People don't pay attention to that enough. They don't stress it enough. And then they find themselves doing the same thing over and over. So you're scaling at like a very incremental pace when it can just be shot up if you knew where you're going.
Right.
Like, you don't take your car and just start driving. Like, you
Right.
have directions, you have a destination. So I feel
Right.
like with your business, you need to know, what is your final destination with this? What is your exit strategy? What is your growth strategy?
I see.
So for someone that is in North Miami and, I'm born and raised here, I love the city of Miami, but unfortunately I do have one, comment when it comes about Miami. It is pretty hard to network here. That is why I am so intentional. I go so hard for it, because you do have to put a little bit more work here. Not to say that the people are not there, but because we are such a aesthetic environment, if you don't look like money, then it's kind of hard for you to be able to attract people that have the money.
Right.
Unfortunately, like, that is just the hard truth when it comes to some places. That it's not all areas.
Right.
But I would say for that gentleman, he would have to network with, people that are doing bigger projects. Like, I would say, if you're power washing, go around downtown and look at somebody probably doing a power washing like job for that day.
Right.
Most likely he's not the owner, but he can connect you to the owner.
Okay.
if he's willing to. And don't be scared or afraid for someone to tell you no, because you will have people tell you no. Obviously they're going to be like, who are you? But you just keep doing it.
Okay.
That's the thing. Like, you will get a yes
It's
sooner
persistence.
or later. Yes, you just have
Right.
to be persistent and consistent.
Right.
I think a lot of people get discouraged once you start hearing, oh no, I can't help you, or there's nothing I can offer you. You'll find somebody. Just like when it comes to looking for real estate properties, you can put in an offer and the seller can tell you no. That doesn't mean you don't buy another house. That don't mean you don't invest in the next property just because
Right.
that one person told, okay,
Right.
on to the next. There's other people that's doing it or selling another property that I want. So I think it's just more of going out there. I think people don't go out there and look for what they want. They expect it to just show up in their front doorstep. Or they
see.
just want it handed to them. And it's just like, certain things are just not handed to you. You have to go out there and look for it. And it is. Sometimes you're looking for a needle in a haystack. Like, for me, I was looking for a woman in real estate that develops. that was black.
That's hard.
I
Yeah.
kept listen.
Did you find it though?
Oh, I found it.
Oh, my-
Yeah. No, that's what I said. I'm gonna find what I'm looking for. That's one
Right,
thing. I'm
right.
going to find it. But it took me a while because
Right.
real estate is male dominated,
Exactly right.
predominantly white.
Yeah, Caucasian,
And I'm just
yeah,
like,
all over.
okay. But no, I know why I said that because I need to understand the hurdles that you went through to be in an industry that's so predominantly white and male and usually passed on when it comes to like generations and things of that sort. So because you are a black woman in real estate that is a developer, you're going to be able to tell me how to pass through certain hurdles so I don't go through that. Or you're going to open doors for me because you see someone similar to you. So that's where I say I knew what I was looking for. So when I
Right.
found it, I automatically plugged in. But that
Right,
is because I
that's-
knew what I was looking for. So if you don't know what you're looking for, you're going to be looking for a needle in a haystack. Trust me. You
Right.
will.
And you know what? I think what I find, right, is that our black women, you guys are doing such a good job.
no, they're
of
doing
sticking
great.
together, right? Of understanding like we need each other
Yes.
to. So I'm not surprised that you found that and she was willing to help because
yeah.
like you guys are doing a good job of understanding the assignment. Like,
Yeah, no,
it's-
we need to be together. Like,
Right.
we can't do this
Yeah.
alone. There's not that many of us
I
to be
see.
fighting against each other
I
with.
see, I see, I
Now, in
see.
some industries, unfortunately, it is not that
Yeah,
easy.
it's
But
not, yeah.
you make your playing field. I feel like you make the landscape you want to see and don't look at how negative a industry may be or how hard it is. There is somebody out there that's probably doing what you want to do and is probably as successful as you want to be. So I feel like no matter what industry, whether it's beauty, whether it's construction, real estate business, medical, you'll find people. There's cruel people in the world, but there is somebody that is for you that'll be nice enough to help you at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think you touched on a point that was really, really important. And I think probably one of the most important points. And I know Miami is a very shallow place,
Yes,
right?
unfortunately.
Unfortunately. But this is almost universal, right? How you present yourself to the world is how the world will receive
Oh
you.
yes, I'm
right?
big on that. Yeah.
Right? There's no way around it. So even if, and this is for my young boys, right? Even if you aren't where you need to be, like making sure that you're groomed, making sure that you're showing up in a presentable manner, like making sure that your vocabulary is up to par, reading books,
Yes.
like educating yourself is extremely important. It's extremely important.
Yes.
Like for me, when I first started in business, going back to the party rental company, on my website, I had a white guy.
Oh my
Right?
gosh.
This is kind of crazy. So I had an old white guy on the website because when customers would come, when I would go out to jobs with customers, and we would deliver it like West End, like higher earning areas, they would always ask for the owner, and I would tell them
You're
that was
looking
me.
at the
I
owner.
was doing speaking to you. Oh, okay. And it was always kind of weird. And I was very young at the time. Not very young, but I was younger at the time. Like 5-6 years ago. And I realized that it was easier for me to get conversions when I had a white man on my website.
Yeah.
But like a year or two later, like a year later, I was like, you know what? Like, I think the issue is that we aren't seeing young black men and young black women doing these things.
Yeah.
And it became very important for me to get up there. Because for me, at first, I wanted to, get my money, stay out the way. Like,
Yeah.
that was the most important thing for me. I wanted to get money, earn a good living, and no one knows what I do.
Yeah.
Right? To me, that's what I cared about. But when I realized, like, no, we need to show people that we are doing these things. Like, this is
Yes.
not this is not out the ordinary. This is regular. Like, a lot of young black men have businesses and they do well,
Yes.
and they're professional and they're not gonna drop the ball.
Yeah. It's being able to normalize that.
So now, like on my moving truck, I have black owned and operated on my moving truck.
Yes, we
right?
love to see it.
It's important to like let people know like this is what we're
Yeah.
doing. Like this is what black people, black youth, this is under
Yeah.
30, this is what's going on. They're putting, we're putting ourselves out there a lot more. And I think it's really good. But I think it's still important to present yourself in
Yeah.
a manner where people can receive you in the context that you want them to receive you in.
Exactly.
You know, like if you come into me and you got your work clothes on, you got your dirty boots, you know what I'm saying? All right, my boy, get in the truck. Like, let's go
Yeah.
work. If you come into me and you're dressed properly and you telling me, I need some help growing my moving company, then it's like, okay, I'm gonna help you regardless, whatever you ask me for.
Yeah.
But I can see why some people wouldn't receive you if you're not showing up in a manner that would warrant them to
want to help you out. I feel like, you dress for success.
Exactly.
You dress how the future you would be.
Exactly.
You don't dress as your current situation.
Right.
Because no one needs to know that you don't have any money.
Right.
No one
you should look the same all the time.
Yeah, you should look the same. No, listen, I'm a
100K,
millionaire. Like, you can't tell me
$100.
otherwise. Like, I am literally a walking millionaire. Like, you cannot tell me that. It's just pending. The check has not cleared or whatever. But I dress the part.
You make $100 million, or if you have $1,000 in bank account, we're not gonna know because
we're not gonna know. Yeah, you're presentable.
Like a couple million bucks.
Yeah, like listen, no one should know your problems. Okay, what you're trying to do is find a solution to your problem, but that doesn't mean you make your problem how you dress.
Visible.
Yeah, visible. So I feel like, and that doesn't mean you have to be very polished. I think some people get a little too overwhelmed, like, well, I don't like suits and I don't like dresses. You don't that's not what we mean. Find your style and just clean up. Yeah, just look a little bit more presentable. Unfortunately, but fortunately, we are Black, so we got to work a little bit harder, okay? And that's just the proven.
It's unfortunate that we get treated differently, right?
It's unfortunate, but unfortunate to be Black, because it's not unfortunate. It's just unfortunate that we have to do a little bit more than other people, than our counterparts. So I just feel like you can't sit there and try to play the blame game when you are not having an active participation in your success journey. I feel like a lot of people like to blame it on the economy, it's society, or nobody supports me. No, you're not properly structured. You look a hot mess when you're speaking. Like, I'm just like, you do not articulate your words. It's do you want to buy this or not? Like, you don't speak to people like that. Like, you need to have etiquette. You need to have customer service. You need to be able to properly treat people well, even if they're not treating you well. That doesn't mean you go sit there and just turn up on everyone because you're upset that no one is supporting you or that you're not getting the feedback that you're looking for, because it will happen. But I think it's more important on the things that you can control and not the things you can't control. So I just feel like you can control how you dress. You can control how you speak. Like, those are things that you can control.
That are within your parameters. That's you. That's you.
Yeah, that's all you. You cannot blame anyone or your environment for that. And I mean, your environment may play a role, but it's up to you to change your environment. Because, if you are raised in an area that's, underserved or just not the best, yes, your environment can play a role on how successful you are. But I just feel like after a while, you have to be tired of it. Like, you can't normalize, like, this is just what it is. That means it will just stay like that at that point, because you don't see nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
You won't fix anything if there's nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing to fix.
Yeah, if there's nothing to fix.
You don't see an issue. So, your father, has done wonderful things, right? Your family in general, right? I wanted to know, how important is it to have a group when you're doing business, or when you're like what you guys are doing? Like, how important is that? Like, is that something that changes the way that you move about when it comes to business or when it comes to investments? Like, how much of an impact does having, that kind of group mentality when it comes to making final decisions? Like, how much of an impact does that have on you?
I would say working as a group when it comes to business is not the easiest, but you do see a lot of benefits with it. Because one, you don't share the losses all by yourself. And then you get to share the wins all together. So that's, a wonderful thing that I love working about in a group. And also you get different ideas. Like, a lot of people are able to spark ideas when it comes to that. That ideation process is very creative when you are working in a group. The only thing is, when working in a group, you have to be like-minded. And a lot of people sometimes are just not at the same mindset level when it comes to where you want to go. So I feel like it just depends. I don't think with every business you have to do it with the group, but some of them you'll be more fruitful if you work in a group. I just feel like, especially with businesses that require like physical labor. You
Right.
need a group for that. Like
Yeah,
there's
right.
no way, especially being a woman, I would say, like there's no way
Yeah.
you can do it all.
Right.
But I feel like working in a group, it is very inspiring. It's very motivating. Sometimes you have your days where you're just like, oh my gosh, like you guys. But for the most part, I can say it is definitely fruitful. I enjoy it. It has its ups and its downs, but the work is getting done. Everybody's able to pull from each other. Everybody's able to provide a resource. And I just feel like when you have that collaborative team around you, things get done. Things definitely get done as opposed to you being solo. Because if you're solo, you're holding yourself accountable. No one's holding you accountable.
Right.
So if things don't get done, then they just don't get done. Because you have no one to
No
report
boss.
to.
You have
You have no boss.
Yeah.
So there's a pros and cons when it comes to being in the group and when it comes to being solo. But I feel like it just depends on the business venture. I'm not against neither. I'm in a space where I do look for partners, if anything, when it comes to investing, because I just realized, I already have a lot of pockets, a lot of things that I'm working in. So
Right.
I'm not in a place to really do things solo.
By yourself.
Yeah, so it's like that just doesn't even make any sense at this point.
get that. Yeah.
So I'm definitely in a place where if I do start any venture at this point, it would definitely be within partnership or some type of collaboration, because I just understand that there's power in numbers, and I'm in a place where I want to build empires, not just businesses. I've never had that mindset where I'm just building a business. No, I'm building a corporation. Like this needs to live beyond me, or this needs to be able to scale to the point where I can sell it. Like I'm looking at it from, if I'm not the owner, what does this business even look like? Like I'm not concerned about me being a CEO and founder. I know everybody loves that title, but it's like, I could care less. I need to know, what does my name hold for real when it comes to me having that business.
Right. So is it more like personal branding?
Yeah, I feel like I'm focused more on personal branding than it is business building. I'd rather help other people build their businesses, but as for me, I'm more focused on personal branding and having a stronger brand presence alone than just having a really big business
that's bigger than yourself.
Yeah, like I want a business that lasts beyond me. So
I see. So in terms of going back to networking, like that's like, I think one of the most important things, because you no longer have to seek out opportunities.
Yeah,
right?
they just come to you. Oh, trust me.
I came to you, right?
Yeah, opportunities come to me like water at this
Right,
point. Like I
right.
love networking because of that.
You put yourself in a position where you are the sun, right? Things are revolving around you. And that all comes down to like personal branding. So you have some tips on like personal branding, doing it? Because I might steal some of that.
No, of course. If anything, it's crazy that I got to this point now. Because I think for me, because I think really big, I always saw big picture, but I never systemized how to get to the big picture. I was like, so how we're getting all the way to Mars if you're still on Earth?
Right.
Like I didn't think about, I need the pilots, I need this.
Breaking
I need
it down.
Yeah, I didn't break it down. I just thought, oh yeah, this is where we're going.
Let's get in the car.
Get there. Like, so I would say when it comes to personal branding, I've been unintentionally, but now intentionally building it to a point where I'm known for something. I feel like when you are building your personal brand, you have to be known for something. Right now, I'm known for networking, and I'm going to hold on to that. But that's not my whole entire identity right now, because I'm young. It can shift to different things.
Right.
Now, if you know exactly where it is that you want to go, because some people have that figured out, then you nail that. But when you're in that phase of just like exploratory and discovery, I feel like don't be so focused on like, oh my gosh, I don't know what it is that I want to be known for. Figure out just one thing. Like if you have multiple passions, multiple projects, figure out one thing to lock in, hold on to it. And if you want to pivot. No one tells you can't change what direction you want to go into. So I would say when it comes to personal branding, just figure out what it is that you want to be known for and be consistent with it. Like you can't look like someone that's like wishy-washy or just does not have no definite place of where they're going, because people follow a leader. They don't follow a follower. So you can't be someone that's following
like
every trend
else,
or looking like everyone else. You have to be the person that kind of stands out. That's how you have a personal brand. If you look like everyone else, then you do not have a personal brand. You're doing what everybody else is doing.
Do you think it starts with style too? Like, or are you saying like
style as in like fashion?
Yeah. Is it how you show like externally, or are you talking about intrinsically, like your values are different?
Yeah, I feel like it's your
Okay.
values. It's your values. It's how you speak, how you carry yourself.
Okay.
Personal branding, I just feel like it starts with the core. You have to know who you are. Like,
Okay.
who is Cartier? Who
Right.
is Ruth? And like, without putting titles to it yet. Like, you add the titles after.
After.
So it's like, who are you? What do
You
you
got a
love
lot of
to
titles.
do? Yeah, I got a lot of titles. But I feel like at the core, it's just like, I am this, honest, outspoken person. I'm supportive. I love to be able to help people. I like being a resource, the plug, if anything.
Okay.
I like to be able to see people thrive. Like, those are my core values. So anything I do, my core values will be able to flourish within that, because
see.
that's what I like to do. So it's just like figuring out who you are at the core. So that way, whatever you do, your core values are pushed out. So that's why I say it doesn't matter if you change direction, because who you are at the core is what people are going to remember, not necessarily the thing you're doing, unless you want it to be that. Because it can go both ways. People can know you for, yeah, you're the person that does this, or you can be known for, no, that's the girl that she does not play when it comes to business, no matter what business she starts.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm
It's gonna
saying?
do well.
Or she's the networking queen. You're going to find her at a
Yeah.
conference, at an event, at
Right.
any happy hour. Like, it's more of like, what do you want to be known for?
You said happy hour,
Yeah, happy hour. Like,
so you'll go to happy hour to network.
yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm telling you, you network anywhere.
I did. So I got some tips from someone else who was a great networker, right? And they told me that if you're in a room where the goal is just to network, then that might not be the best networking opportunity for you. You need to put yourself in places where people that you like or people that you think you want to emulate are going to be in. So maybe going to a bar downtown, you're probably going to leave with other people who love networking,
Yeah.
right? Like,
No, it happens. That
Right.
I don't do that one as often, but I have tried that method of networking, of just being, maybe at a random place and just end up talking to someone. Like, it does happen for sure.
Yeah.
It does. Like, you don't have to be at a conference, and that's why my ebook is called The Power of the Room. I'm focusing on the room, not the specific event. Because no matter what room you're in, the skills need to be interchangeable. Like, you need to be able to do it everywhere. Whether that's at a networking event, whether that's on a conference, whether that's a webinar, it does not matter where you are. You need to be able to properly network so you can gain what you're looking for.
So I started this podcast, right? Mostly because one, I wanted to network with certain people, but with the moving company, I would deal with millionaires on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Right?
And a podcast is the biggest cheat code, y'all. Like,
Yeah,
if you
no,
really
it's a
want to
cheat code.
network, this is the biggest
It's a
cheat
cheat
code
code.
to be able to pick people's brain. I listen to podcasts all day, and I'm like, listen, thank you for starting that podcast, because I just got free information. Thank you.
Exactly.
No, listen.
No, it's super valuable.
No, it
It's
is.
super valuable to get the just in general.
Yeah.
But I think like for me, like I would meet people almost on a daily basis, right? I think someone that stood out to me, I met a chiropractor, right? And we moved them down like somewhere in Miami, a super big house, okay? And then super cool guy. He opened his garage. We put everything in his house, and he opened his garage, and he had like 2 Ferraris in there. And I'm like,
Okay.
I'm
All
like,
right,
what do you?
chiropractor.
Right? So I asked him, like, so what do you do? He's like, I'm a chiropractor. I'm like, no, I know chiropractor. Like, what do you do?
No, doctors make a lot of money, but he
Right,
probably has a private
right.
practice or something. And it's
Right.
Miami. Listen, if you're a doctor in Miami,
Right.
you are
But
balling.
we talking 2 like sports cars, like Ferraris. Like they were plugged to the wall because he wasn't really driving them. He didn't want the battery to die.
Wow.
He had it plugged to the wall.
Rich people problem.
Right. And I asked him, I was like, what do you do? He told me he's a chiropractor, and chiropractors make good money, right? But they don't make like 2 Ferrari money, right? In a house in Miami.
Yeah.
And he explained to me that he's also a business owner. He owns a lot of the offices, right?
That's what I said. I knew it was a private practice. So
Right,
it wasn't
yeah.
just a doctor.
So he owns like hundreds of locations, right? And we sat there for like 30 minutes, and he gave me so much game. When I tell you, he was giving me so much game, and I was like, oh my god, like I can't even tell my dog. I got it. Like I can't. It's like they have to hear it from him,
Yeah.
right? And so that's why for me it was important to have like a space where I could have people that I think are interesting or people who like stand out to me, people who are doing great things. And it's like,
Yeah.
yo, talk to these people because if I want to hear it, I'm sure other people will
Yes.
also want to hear it.
Yes.
So that was one of the main reasons. I also, even just interesting people in general. I met like a mafia guy who was an ex-mafia
Oh
guy.
my gosh.
His father was locked up. His father was gone, but he was like the child of a mafia boss or something like
Wow.
that. And super like energetic guy. Also a lot of knowledge, and this had nothing to do with business, but it had so much to do with business.
Yeah.
Just in the way that you know, carry yourself. He had a lot of advice on that. He had a lot of advice on the way that you speak to people. Going back to networking, like it was just gems on gems on gems. So it was
Yeah.
like, for me, it was like, oh my God, I gotta figure something out. Like we gotta put something together. And you're the first guest,
Thank
like
you.
you're
And
the
I'm
first guest.
super
Like
grateful.
we've been working on this for a good minute. I can't wait to see how the jump start,
Yes.
goes. But Ruth, thank you for coming.
Thank
I'm
you.
really
Thank you for having
appreciative
me.
that you
It's
gave us so
crazy.
much
I'm such a
time.
podcast girl, and look at me
Right.
sitting in a
And the podcast.
podcast.